Hello, Internet, and welcome back to my Sky Island series. I think we're going to cut out the intros that I usually do for this series because they're kind of annoying for me to do in editing, and I never remember what we did in the last episode. And the reality is that most of you who are watching at this point have watched the previous episode, and if you haven't, well, that's a you problem. So, okay, we were going to try to get our well up and running, which I think we have everything to do now. We just have to bring everything together. Actually, we might still have a freezer in our hands. Weapon held is a baseball bat. So where's my freezer? You see here a household freezer, 50 material tokens. Okay, so we did drop this. So we are going to want the freezer in our basement. So why don't we grab that out of the pile here, freezer, and it's holding material tokens. Of course it is. So let's move this over here, freezer. Yeah, so we picked up a freezer in the last episode. Pretty great. Looks like it doesn't have a tile. Yeah, so this is a great time to mention as well. I'm apparently on a build from like 2 months ago. I have not been updating because I had a lot of in-progress stuff that I was trying to add to the game. But because I've lost interest and my attention span is really short and terrible and etc., why can't I take these out of here? I want the material tokens out of there. And because I just was like lost all desire to contribute now, I, have all this stuff that's partially finished. Like, I know we talked about this back when I was updating things, but if we go to look at photos, I believe it's called a home photo. No, it's not called a home photo. Yeah, so here's an example of what I was working on, and I can't move my mouse to gesture, otherwise it'll update the snippet. But you'll see here if I just press over, it's like a million different combinations of possible descriptions. Some of these are the old ones, so it's just like pre-written whatever. But these photos are all use variables in order to make a single photo. So for example, here it says homemade frame. That's randomized. It might say homemade, old, new, different kinds of frames. It features a young man. This is variable as well. It could be a man, a woman, a boy, or a girl, I believe. It says the genuine admiration clear on his face. No, it uses the male pronouns, so that must be static. And it says both of them wear soft smiles as though their love was a secret. So that's a pretty basic one. But a lot of these are lots of variables. So it'll have like variable color dresses and gowns for like graduation. It has variable combinations of couples, so it might be a male couple, a male-female couple, etc. And just that kind of stuff, just to make up all these photo snippets. Now the combinations are like in the thousands, so there's tons and tons of these that are, oh no, do not unlock all progression. We're looking to restore achievements. There we go. So I have all these things and it's like thousands of combinations of photos, but I don't want to update the game because then I'll lose everything that I was previously working on, and I have to transfer it all to a different file. And in addition to that, I was working on like some bunker stuff. I have all these different PRs that are partially made, so I've been afraid to update, but it's time to update. Like, I have to update. It's been too long. Sky Island is getting updates. The game is getting updates, and I'm not like currently able to see those updates because we haven't been updating the game. So where should we put our freezer, Internet? It's easiest to put it near the recharger because then we can just plug it into the recharger. Otherwise, we're going to need an extension cord of some kind. And we don't really want to put wiring on the walls because I believe when we get the next room expansion, this is going to get bigger again. And I think it'll delete all of our wall wiring. So we don't really want that. Yeah, I guess it has to be plugged in, which means we're going to have to move our drink pile. And I really don't want it near the food pile because then, this huge list is going to include both food and drink. So what do we have over here? This is armor. This is miscellaneous crafting materials. Yeah, so we can put the drinks over here for now. So let's remove perishable drink and drink piles, and we will add perishable drink and drink piles. Yes, we're finally recording some Cataclysm again. Always exciting. Nice to, I had so limited time today. My niece was, they took my niece to see, what was that movie? It's a recent anime, Inside Out 2, which I saw the first one many years ago. I don't really remember it at all. Let's make this an unsorted zone so we can just quickly sort this as well. So make that unsorted, save this, and if we sort, I think if we hit everything, it's going to sort the stuff upstairs too, but that's okay, so we'll do that. We haven't sorted all this stuff in a while. Sorted our automotive filter, fantastic. So that should have transferred everything from the drink pile to the new drink pile, which it did, except for the empty bottles, because those are not drinks, those are just miscellaneous materials. And then we will remove that unsorted pile, save this, and then I don't really know where to drop this crap. Looks like this is some miscellaneous crafting materials that we dropped, why don't we just, I mean, we do want the empty bottles and stuff because they can be used to craft certain items, so we'll just hang on to these for now. And of course we can dump clean water in them as we do water and stuff. So let's set up this freezer. Search for freezer. Yesterday I took her to the movies. I did not go because I just don't really want to be in a giant room full of children screaming and laughing at the screen. You know, it just sounds like a nightmare to me. I haven't been to the movies since, it must have been before COVID. I mean, it's been a minute since I've been to an actual movie theater. So I hate that this freezer sprite, number one, appears to be a fridge, which I don't like that it looks like a fridge. And then number two, it's not actually like facing the proper direction, so you can see we're seeing the side of this refrigerator, which I really don't like. You know, you can kind of make out like the coils on the back here. I assume it's facing to the left, because I think this is the door, and then, or no, this is the door. Those are handles, I guess. And then this is the copper wire coil, not wire, but you know, the copper tubing coil up the back of it, I guess. What's that called? Like a condenser? I don't know. I'm not a HVAC guy or whatever that would be called, refrigeration guy. So we do have a freezer now, which means we can freeze materials. In fact, let's turn this on. We can do this directly like this. Plug in appliance to the battery station here. Grid power flow plus 92 watts. Yeah, that's just because it's overnight now. We're getting less sun. So let's turn on the freezer. It looks like it draws 45 watts. That should be okay even overnight with a limited battery, because we currently only have this one medium grid battery here, which holds 10,000 charge. That should still be plenty, I think, to keep things maintained overnight. We'll have to check in the morning how that's doing once the solar panels stop producing power. And then let's just have a look here and see what we can freeze if anything needs freezing. God, what's the easiest way to look at this? We want the pickup menu so we can pick things up, but we want the eat menu because then it shows like how close to rotting the item is. But we can't see both of those things. We can't pick up and see this information at the same time, unfortunately, unless you can do it. No, in the advanced inventory, you can't either. Can we sort by like rotting time? What do we have? Skill, taught, disassembled body parts. No, doesn't look like we can sort by how soon they go bad. Okay, so we're just gonna have to kind of remember, I guess, which is really unfortunate. Looks like leaves are apparently edible. I don't remember that being a thing, but okay, they've been sorted into the food pile for some reason. More than a day. I didn't know burdock and stuff like that actually spoiled. I guess I don't know what burdock is. I thought it was a nut, a bitter thistle-like vegetable. Okay, so it's a vegetable, fair enough. Don't judge me, internet. I don't know these things. Yeah, less than 2 days, less than 2 days. Okay, well, we don't want to freeze blueberries. They'll get gross and mushy. We can freeze the tofu, I think. Do you have, if I hit E, do you have the mushy flag? It doesn't say. Okay, so I'll assume it doesn't. So let's just grab stuff that makes sense. So like the butter, any butter that we have. I don't know if you freeze butter in real life or not, but we're going to grab all this butter. Peanut butter, no, we're not worried about that. Take the actual butter and we'll grab the tofu. God, this is going to be a nightmare to sort all of this into the freezer. And I see we left behind some tofu, or no, that's just because it's in our inventory, so it's showing up in that menu. That makes sense. Yeah, is there not? Internet, you're watching this video. Thank you for watching, of course, as always. But if you know a way to see the spoilage menu and be in like a pickup menu at the same time, please let me know. That would be very helpful, I think. We can freeze the cracklins, I suppose, because those also have a relatively short shelf life. We could do the bacon, the smoked meat. The smoked meat should last long enough for us to actually eat the thing. Why don't we just pick up any meat product? Meat for now. We'll do this. Obviously, we don't need a jar if we're gonna pick things up. So pick up all the meat and we'll pick up pork, anything with pork in it. Pork sticks we'll grab. Actually, we should grab the bags specifically. Leave the pork and beans, and then we might have multiple cracklins, so we'll do that. And then I think we'll just call it. We're not gonna like put everything in our freezer. This is basically just for like when we go back down, we might actually be able to butcher some animals for once, which would allow us to get a lot of actual meat, which of course meat is very calorie dense. We have a freezer, which means we can maintain that meat for a long period of time, and it provides us with nutrients as well. You know, obviously a lot of iron in the meat. For now, it looks like we don't have vitamins in our system. I'm not really sure why. I thought we took a multivitamin recently, but I guess not. So why don't we have a few vegetables, see if we can get, actually we're just going to eat a multivitamin anyway. So if we just eat a multivitamin, we're going to to get all the nutrition that we actually need out of that. So we're just going to need, oh really, we took 2 and we only have some vitamins. I thought 2 multivitamins was a daily dose of all, was a daily dose of all vitamins. So 24 to 50%. Okay, so up to 4 of these required in order to get a daily dose of vitamins. Okay, I didn't know that. Let's eat a 3rd multivitamin. We're going to need a lot more of those in the future. Our vitamins should be okay. Now we can just focus on eating like some of this perishable food. Looks like burdock has a -12 joy. Is there something we can craft with that? Burdock? Burdock seeds, vegetable sandwich. Well, that sounds pretty sad, and I like veggies, but that's pretty sad. Why is the vegetable sandwich possibly craftable with human flesh? Why? Why would that be a thing? It's a vegetable sandwich. I wish this was clickable. Wish we could click to scroll this. How do we scroll this? M? No. Brackets? No, that's that one. Page down? No. The square brackets? It is the square brackets. So you can cook burdock greens, which we don't have that recipe for some reason, or else we don't have the materials required. Oh, no, we do. Cooked burdock greens. Yeah, we're just missing the fire there. And this does remove their unpleasant taste, I guess. 1 burdock makes 1 portion. It's 69 calories, giggity, etc. So it's not like an amazing food, but we might as well use up the burdock that we just got. Plus there's a lot of calcium in it, which is one of the vitamins that's a little harder to get. But it does require water. We don't have our water set up. Okay, well, we set up the freezer, which was like our first step. So let's go upstairs and set up this well now. And let's make sure we have everything. I think we have enough pipes. They might be downstairs at this point because we sorted. Water well, 40 rock. No, we already did that part. So we need 1 mechanical pump and 6 pipes. And it's going to require mechanics 2. That's right, everything in this game requires one thing that then requires another thing that then requires another thing. So we have everything that we need except for mechanics 2. So I guess we go downstairs and we read a bit for mechanics. What is our current mechanics skill? See what we got. I thought it was at the bottom. Yeah, mechanics 1 at 59%. We have a learning bonus of 125%, but our practical level is 1. I think we can just craft and raise this in the next like hour. So let's have a look at what we can craft with mechanics. We can make a muffler, which is probably just going to use some of our pipes that we really don't want to spend. We have 13 pipes, we need 6, so we could make this. It does teach principles of welding, which is something we're going to need to learn in the future. And at this point, we have so many welding rods, I'm not really concerned about burning them. The thing here that is limiting us is the set of pipe fittings. How long does this take? 1 hour and 39 minutes. I doubt this will get us. This might get us to level 2, but we'll go ahead and make a muffler. I think that's a good start. A pipe cleaner also raises mechanics and only uses copper wire, but it doesn't give us any proficiency advancement. I think getting the welding principle stuff moving at this stage of the game is probably good, getting us heading towards learning welding, even though it's going to use our materials and be a little bit more annoying. And we do have an 11% catastrophic failure chance, which is quite bad actually, but we should be good here. So we'll make a muffler, and we'll just use the regular welding rods because we have the majority of those, and we will use the arc welder that's plugged in because that won't cost us any fuel, and we should get to level 2 mechanics. There we go, 31% of the way, and we got to level mechanics, level 2 mechanics. So let's head up and put together our well. This has been a long-term project that we've been working on, so I'm happy to get moving towards the well. We don't have the pump or anything. Okay, let's head back down. Oh, feeling a bit flustered. I was like, oh, I'll record really quick while my family's away watching the movie, and I'll have time. So like, I got up early. I went to the grocery store, got that out of the way, went to eat my dinner early as well. Pretty much did everything that I, wanted to get out of the way before I had to come and sit and record. And then literally I'm setting up the microphone, and what happens? My neighbor starts mowing his lawn, which is just like the consequences of having good weather all of a sudden. The heat wave has broken a little bit over the last few days. We had a lot of rain. Temperature dropped down into the 80s instead of the high 90s, which I know probably doesn't sound that much better, but it actually is so substantially better than what it was before. So let's scroll down here. We have everything required for stage 2. And let's make sure we don't for the other one. Yeah, so we should just be able to do this. I'm not sure why it's grayed out. Mechanics 2, Fab 4, we have that. Requires a covered well, we have that, right? That's the first level. 1 tool with hammering of 2 or more, we have. Bolt turning, we have the pump, we have the pipes. If I hit enter, why is it grayed out? If I hit enter, construct where? Yeah, we did it. Okay, so we're going to get a well. Fantastic. We built a water well. We now have an infinite source of water on the island. Now, I'm not sure if I had updated the game. If you're not familiar, there were some water changes recently. So water you get from like rivers and places like that are no longer clean, no longer regular water. They're called murky water. And that murky water requires you to filter it using a sand filter. Now, because I haven't updated, none of that's in the game. So I'm not sure if I were updated, if this pump would give us regular water or murky water, which would require an extra step of cleaning it. So we are cheating a bit by having this available to us, whereas, you know, if I were on a modern version, it might cause us a little bit more trouble than what we have currently. And we do have an empty gallon jug, so we will grab that and fill that up with regular water, pour into container, into the gallon jug. No, don't fill my Alpha Secure container with water. I didn't know you could do that. I thought my neighbor's mowing his lawn again. Bro, you stopped. That's why I started recording, because you stopped mowing. Why are you mowing? You don't need to mow anymore. It's over. Okay, so we might, yeah, we might have to deal with the lawnmower. What time are we at? We're only at 19 minutes of the video. I'm not calling it after 19 minutes. I'm really sorry. I don't have time. The family's going to come home. My niece is going to be here. God, do we just call it? I don't really want to call it. I don't know how much it'll come through in the recording is the thing. So let's drop our water. We'll record for a bit, but this will probably be a short episode if he's going to keep doing the lawn care routine. Like I said, consequence of finally having good weather. Everyone's out doing their lawn work and stuff. I, have been working on the hedge a little bit while we have better weather here. So we have regular water. We never did get a stove, so let's start a fire here. We're going to cook that burdock. Just seems like, why not? I never cook in this game. We always just sort of eat whatever we find. I think it'd be good to cook something that's like, food. Fried burdocks. Crafter cannot craft this because they lack the theoretical knowledge to understand the recipe. Really? Interesting. So this would be breaded and fried. That's kind of cool that they have a fried recipe for it. But we're just going to boil it, I suppose, is what this one is. So we're going to get the fire, the cutting quality, no big deal. Obviously not a lot of calories. The fried ones would be so much more because they're going to have breading and fat component of some kind. But yeah, we're going to cook a couple burdock here. Let's not do this. Oh, no, I wanted to do batch. So we're going to cook burdock. This is going to raise our food handling probably to level 2, although we're only going to cook for like 15 minutes, so maybe not. We'll see if we get food crafting level 2, whatever the skill is called. Food handling. I never use it. So we'll eat our burdock. That'll give us tons of calcium for the day, which is pretty good. Some calories, obviously. Let's snuff out the fire, although it's probably already burnt up the stick that was in there. Looks like it's still smoking. I love these animated sprites, man. They're so cool. I'm so glad they added those to the game. I wish more stuff used the animated sprite. I don't know if you can even see that on like mobile, but there's little wisps of smoke coming out of it because we just had a fire. I assume that might actually be the sprite for hot air, which if you look here in the corner, it'll say hot air when we hover over that. So I'm not really sure, although we don't see it anywhere else, and there is hot air elsewhere. Man, this lawnmower, this guy next door makes me want to choke him sometimes. You should have heard them on the 4th of July. Like, they went away for the 4th of July, and then when they came back, they were just all fireworks and drunk people screaming for like 3 full days. And it's so sad because it's like, I don't even like America that much. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not a super terrible country. The people are like, we get a bad rap because people associate us with like the worst people and the like anti-vaxxers and all these crazy people in the country. But like America, as far as it goes, I don't like hate it. I don't love it. It's just where I am. But then to think that the way we celebrate our independence of, being overseen by the British is to get drunk and set off fireworks and have people blowing off their fingers and all that kind of stuff. It's sort of sad that that's how people celebrate, quote unquote celebrate. It's really just an excuse to get drunk, in my experience, in the countryside here. That seems to be what everyone does. So we have a freezer, we have a well, which were our 2 goals, really, for the last several episodes. I'm really glad we got the well. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but having that infinite water source is going to make it a lot easier, because otherwise we have to gather that down on the Earth side. I don't really know what else to work towards tonight, and it is unfortunately... Oh no, it's like 9 a.m. I thought this was p.m., so I thought we were winding down to the end of the night. That's why our vitamins reset, because we crossed midnight. That's why. Okay, so it's like daytime. I guess we will go go on an expedition. I, for some reason, thought, did we work through the night and I just didn't notice? Did we sleep in the last episode and I didn't realize it? I don't know. I expect us to be tired soon. We have moderate weariness. No, we're lightly weary. We're transitioning to moderate. I think that's okay for an expedition. I don't think we'll get to like a huge penalty while we're down there. Following movement penalties are applied for the following activity levels. Isn't combat treated as an extreme activity? So would this mean we're penalized 25% for every act of combat? Because that would be really miserable. I don't really know. Chair's squeaky today. Squeaky chair. Okay, well, we've eaten. We shouldn't have eaten if we're going on an expedition because we could eat while we're down there. I guess we'll just head down for an expedition. What would we even be working towards? We still need rocks. We have enough rocks for like one construction. It's either going to be the charcoal forge or the charcoal kiln, the rock forge. We have 66 rocks. We need another 14. No, wait, math. We need 80. Yeah, 14 more in order to get the charcoal kiln, which is probably the thing we should craft first. That way we can have it chugging along and making charcoal while we're gathering materials to make the forge itself. That way we don't have to wait for the charcoal once we get the forge up and running. Plus we still need Fab 5. No, we have Fab 5 now, I believe, for the forge. So we have literally everything that we need. So let's make the charcoal forge instead of going right now on the expedition. We'll make this upstairs as well. We don't really want to fill our base with things. I assume this produces heat around it, so we don't really want that in the base, I think. So hammering we have, I think the entrenching tool is still in our inventory. So we'll pick up 40 rocks. We'll head upstairs, we'll make a kiln, and then we will probably grab some logs using material tokens and we'll turn those into charcoal. I suppose we'll just kind of keep everything together over here. So why don't we make this just to the south here, charcoal kiln, pop that down right here. Should be pretty quick. Oh, now we're tired, so we're not going to be going on an expedition. What do we have here? 5 planks. Why do we have 5 planks? I think for the other bucket we needed planks. Why don't we don't have any logs or anything in the base. Oh, we never built the infinity tree, so we can't get logs. Well, we did gather a lot of sticks and lumber early in the game because we were using that lumberjack bag. So what do we have here? I assume you can turn pine boughs into. Obviously we can make pine needle tea. We're probably not going to bother doing that. I assume these can all be rendered into charcoal. I assume it's just wood. Like anything that's a wood material or a bone material, I believe can be used for charcoal. And then we have, I'm sure it's based on like volume or weight or something here. So we'll probably just be able to use these without consequence. Why don't we advance inventory a lot of that stuff out here, and we'll take, so he's weed whacking now, or maybe that's the mower again. We're going to call it soon. I'm really sorry about this internet. I know a lot of times I talk about these things, people say like, oh, I can't even tell, whatever, but it's so deafening right outside my window. And I specifically waited to record now because he had been doing lawn work earlier. So for me personally, I get very flustered and frustrated because I'm like, I planned around you and now you're doing it to me again. So we'll just take a bunch of planks. We'll take some sticks here. We're going to leave the splintered wood because I don't know that it's going to make very much if it's based on volume. And I think you can make pine nuts out of pine cones, or maybe that was removed, so we'll get rid of those as well. And then I doubt leaves can turn into charcoal, so we're not going to bother with those. Twigs, same thing, they're just too small to be relevant. So we'll take a few more planks, a few more sticks, and we'll call it there. So that's a big pile. So we'll grab all that stuff and we'll haul it. We'll take that up to the charcoal kiln and we will deposit really as much of this as we can fit. I don't know if everything will fit inside. So into the charcoal kiln, let's put the little stuff in last actually, so we know that we have all the big stuff fitting. Looks like everything's going to fit. We filled it about, it has about 100 liters of space left. Yeah, if it's based on liters, you would assume it's based on weight, right? Because volume would shrink so much when it became charcoal. I don't know, but let's fire up the kiln. You fire the charcoal kiln. The kiln contents are 142.59 liters of material and is ready to be fired. Fired it up, and then isn't there a way to see how close to done it is? What does this say here? A primitive rock kiln designed to burn wood and organic material into charcoal in the absence of oxygen. It isn't especially efficient compared to a modern metal variant. I mean, we're not carrying worrying too much about efficiency here. Can we examine it? I will finish burning in about 24 hours. Yeah, this is why we set up the kiln first. It's going to take some time to process that charcoal. I don't know if we put enough wood in there. I don't know how much charcoal we're going to get out of it, but it should be enough for us to kickstart our forging efforts. And again, we're still looking for some forging tools. So, you know, it's not even like we have everything that we really want to do advanced forging, you know, but what are you going to do? I think we're going to call the episode here. I apologize for a shorter episode. I apologize if you can hear the lawnmower. This is just the nature of where I live. I can't help it. We'll be back in the near future with more content. We're going to go on the next, well, we're going to sleep because we're very tired, but we're going to go on an expedition. We're going to try to set up the forge. It's going to be, we're making progress. We got the well, which I think is really cool. I'm glad we got the well, even if you don't, you know, care much about it and you're thinking like, oh, it's just water. I'm happy to do it. It feels like a role play thing. Like I need water on the island, so I'm going to build a proper well. And I just really like the idea of that. So yeah, happy to have done that. For now, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with me through my difficulties and all those things. As always, I of course will be back in the near future with more content, and I'll see you next time.